non-negotiables and stuff. Like,
you be negotiating. There's negotiable.
You be on that. You be negotiating.
You be the judge and the jury.
Waiting. Woo! I was just waiting for the catch. One thing about TikTok that I love, I might not know the name of someone, but I know
their face.
I know their face, and I know what they're saying is real, because there's this one babe, she's a Muslim,
Oh,
we know her. Do you know her name?
Yeah. No. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the BTS Podcast. You are joined by your lovely hosts, Beatrice,
Tammy,
and Sharon, and welcome back to the BTS Podcast.
the final one this year.
Wow.
Wrap up pronto. We ain't playing no games, honey. We want to enjoy our Christmas break. Even though we just came back from a long break, but we don't care. Okay? We don't care at all. Boy, but damn, end of 2022 for us.
That's crazy.
Podcast.
Not
Another
even
year
just
down.
the podcast, but just the year. In
Yeah,
general.
I know. It's crazy. I know that obviously every year, but oh my god, it's gone so quickly. But I feel like this year has actually gone substantially.
This
They
year
just keep
has
getting quicker and quicker.
Yeah,
sped
yeah,
by.
yeah. It's a bit worrying.
Yeah. I wonder if it's because like it's the first year we've not had like COVID being like a real impact, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
In our day to day.
I don't even think it's that. I think every year just gets quicker and quicker, because you
Yeah,
would think
sure.
that COVID would have slowed down the year, but I feel like COVID year was
Still very quick.
So
Like, I found like it was
very
over
well.
2 years.
Yeah.
That's what's a bit funny. It is a bit funny, to be fair. But yeah, wow, we've actually reached the end of 2022.
Wow.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to everybody and
Yeah.
a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas,
we hope that
guys.
you are enjoying this time with your loved ones.
Yeah.
And this is like the first Christmas where we can actually go to people's houses now to be sneaking up and down. Like we can actually.
Didn't people go last year?
You know, last year there was actually we weren't around, but there was actually like a limit to how many people you could
Was
have.
there?
Wasn't there?
I don't think so.
There was Omicron last Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was
There was a
an
lockdown.
actual restriction.
There was a lockdown because I
I think
remember
there
I
was
was working
restrictions.
from home before.
I think there was some restrictions.
There were definite restrictions. So this is actually the first year in like since 2019.
Yeah, there were restrictions still.
Well, we didn't have any restrictions. Even 2019, there was COVID. We just didn't know that it was around as rampant. Anyway, but yeah, I think this time. Oh, sorry, I was actually going to jump to Song of the Week, but we were going to do Dilemma first, isn't it?
No, it doesn't matter. We continue.
Okay. I think this time, instead of if you've been watching us or listening to us for a while, you'll know that we do a Song of the Week each week. But I think this week we're going to pick like a song. It doesn't have to necessarily describe your year, but like a song of the year for you.
It's a good one, and I should have actually prepared.
Innit? Even me, I'm saying that we should do it. Have I even prepared?
God damn.
I think I can go.
Does the song have to have come out in 2022?
No, it doesn't have to.
Oh, it doesn't have to.
It's
Okay.
up to you what you want to do. Actually, let's do. Well, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Whether it's come out this year or not. If it describes your year, kind of like how you did it last time.
Moved on to better, boy. Amen.
Moved on to
Hallelujah.
Bigger and better, stronger and mightier.
Yes, sir.
I think my song is gonna be. Okay, my song is gonna be "Need You Right Here" by Chris Brown. Now, I can't lie, Chris Brown. He's gonna appear in my raps this year for sure, 100%.
When did the album come out?
This year, but it came out like in the summer.
I think it was
Was
maybe
it like just before summer or something? Breezy.
Yeah.
Now, if you've listened to us for a while, you know that like my colleague. So basically, the album came out. Beatrice was talking about it, but I don't really listen to Chris
Yeah, she
Brown
don't
like
really
that.
listen to me like that.
I listen to Chris Brown like that. I certainly don't listen to Beatrice, that's for sure. Which was like, oh, it's such a good album. And I was like, yeah, but there's like 40 songs, so yeah, have a good time. And then my colleague, who I've spoken about this before, but I was just so surprised to hear that he listened to Afro beats, and then he's like a huge Chris Brown fan. Like he was like in my raps last year. I was part of the 1%
Okay.
of people that have like, you know.
Yeah.
streamed his music. Yeah. He was just like, his album's really good. So I was like, okay. So I listened to it. I listened to it and yeah. I honestly feel like that's my favourite album that's come out this year. Without a shadow of a doubt.
It's so sick.
It's
anyway, never not that. Anyway,
it's such a good album. I even went back because bitch, and then I started listening to her at this point. She told me to go back and listen to the other albums, and I did. And like, there's even I'm even stuck. But no, let me stick to the one that actually like reignited the fire for Chris Brown within me. It's from the album Breezy. Like I said, came out this year, and the song is "Need You Right Here" featuring Bryson Tiller. And between that and "Show It," those are my top 2 songs on the album. But "Need You Right Here" is my song of the year.
Mad. Who are you needing right here? Low.
This goes
low.
This girl is actually so sick.
I'm so done. Do you want me to go next or do you want to go next?
Yeah, go.
Okay. My one is actually going to be, you're going to hear it and be like, what the hell? But I'll explain to you why. It's just that I just feel like TikTok has been like quite monumental, playing a monumental part in my year, because I just think I hear a lot of songs from TikTok. TikTok has shown the power, and I know it did happen last year, but this year for me is when I've been able to deep it. Like, it has shown the power of like how it can just make songs that were like happening way back, by having a remix or having something attached to it, it can just absolutely like change your perspective on the song. This song is like, I liked the song before, but like, and it's basic, but then obviously like now that they've got Amapiano versions of it, it's now, I'm like, oh my god, I actually love this song. And it's actually Kiss It Better by Rihanna. And literally like when I hear, no, it's so crazy, but when I hear the Amapiano version of it, I'm like, this song, it just slaps. And then it made me go back to her album, and I was just like, that was a solid album. And then there was just so many songs that I was just like taking me back, because obviously with Rihanna, obviously we know she ain't really like post anything like that. So like whenever I listen to her, it's always filled with nostalgia and always filled with like so many memories back then. So obviously like we already know Rihanna's an icon, but like I had completely forgotten about the fact that I actually did respect her as an artist before. Because obviously now I respect her more as just like who she is, her empire that she's built with Fenty, etc. But yeah, like that Kiss It Better, when that remix came out, I was like, oh my god, Rihanna actually has some tunes. And it just set me down a path. So that is going to be my song of the week. Not song of the week, well, my song of the year, but the song of the week for this week. But yeah, that's mine. What's yours?
My song of the year changes every week.
Oh, God.
So
what was it this week?
This week it's Electricity, Fields and Davido.
Oh wow, okay.
Fam, that song.
Yeah.
It's when they
Yeah.
When I hear that, man,
Yeah,
this reeks of 2022.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, at the moment, that's definitely the song that I've been playing a lot.
Yeah.
Even though it came out typically a while-ish ago, but it's just a song that, like, so I always forget about the song and I forget that it's in my playlist, but when it comes on, I'm like, oh my god.
Electricity.
So yeah, it was even between that and probably an Ashake song, but I just feel like that is just too go-to. So yeah, Electricity, Feels.
I thought you were gonna say Dada.
Yeah, no.
Did that come out this year?
Yeah, it came out this year.
Oh my, this year has been long.
It's gone past quickly.
No way.
Yeah.
It was either gonna be between Electricity or AV Confession, even though that song came out like end of last year.
Yeah.
Like, I love that song, but
that is a song.
That is a song, innit? But Electricity, just at the moment, that's just like my thing. And I'm definitely gonna put out my top 10 songs of this year.
Yeah, we'll
I didn't do it last year,
when we get it wrapped up, when Spotify tells us, we'll definitely post it and share it.
Yes, but when I'm gonna post my top 10.
Yeah.
But definitely Electricity will be there, Sha. Because that song, Electricity, vibes on it free. It's that it just comes in. And I just love the fact that Feels was, even though he's a producer, the fact that him and Young John,
they've been in there.
I just love.
They carried their other.
He's like a Hoover, 5-in-1. Like
this 5-in-1 Hoover has taken us.
Guys, you're gonna have to go back.
Yeah,
a couple of episodes
like producer, singer, artist, palazzo, But like, I just love the fact that him and Young John, like, they're getting into their artist bag, that means more money. Like, that means that, like, tours. I know we were talking about tours the last time, but it could be the alley to something like that. So I don't know, like that song. Electricity. So yeah, that's definitely my song. The song might change next week, but right now that's my song of 2022.
I like that. Yeah,
you know when you were talking about your song, do you know what song I thought you were gonna pick?
What?
I see you, I hear me, I want you.
That's a good one.
Because it was around Bitches' birthday, when that song started blowing up on TikTok because of that dance group. I see you, I hear me.
No, TikTok has been powerful, man.
Definitely
powerful.
I think this year definitely it's been like, of course, like years before, like it was good, but the influence on TikTok this year,
it's been
a lot. Like, have you bought stuff from TikTok shop?
Yeah.
Yes,
it just came the other day.
Yes, literally.
I just feel so ashamed, but I'm happy.
Honestly,
the stuff that I bought, I liked it, but still, like do you know what it made me think about? Like back on YouTube, when these influencers used to like say, okay, there's this new collection coming out, like beauty and makeup YouTubers. It just reminds me of back in those days when you would like wait to watch. Like, I don't wait to watch loads of stuff on TikTok. It just comes up on your For You page. Yeah. But, like, when you would hear about makeup drops, someone has gone on sale. Yeah. The thing is £6. The thing is £5. That was your way of, like, knowing, like, the beauty things that are going on. Now, TikTok is, like...
Anybody. As in someone that's random. Like, imagine... And obviously, we all know that, for example, Fenty Beauty, like, we would have seen all these influencers or, like, be saying, Fenty Beauty's got a new colour here, got a new... But then someone, just a black girl like you... Just on TikTok
and being like, this under eye.
Yeah.
And like, it's like the accessibility as well, because like you haven't got to like make this whole production. You haven't got to
it's just
invest
raw.
In a camera or a ring light. Like, you can just pick up your phone and just post, and it hasn't got to be long.
Yeah. Pick up your phone, have the lamp on, and that's it.
And you don't have to be super personable either. Like, just show us what you're showing us and let's be going.
And I love the fact that TikTok, like we said, is just so organic. Like, it's
exactly.
not... Like, obviously there's like paid ads and stuff on TikTok, and obviously... There's influencers on TikTok that have been paid to post stuff, but something that... Sorry, my job is showing here. Something that has really blown up is UGC, which is user-generated content. That is, like, the biggest thing that... And I think it's definitely TikTok that has made that a thing. Like, ads now, they're not all this... stuff like in a photo shoot or like a studio. Literally, ads are people trying on things and being like, I just got this from ASOS, I just got this from Pretty Little Thing, guys, get it, I put the links here. Like, it's just I don't know, it's just very organic, and that's the way that things are going now.
Exactly. And that's why people say that, like, we're obviously still... We know that there's influencers, right? But, like, we always hear people saying, you don't know how much money is an influencer, because it is replacing those traditional marketing, like, strategies. And it's like, there is a lot of money and power that comes with people just saying things. Do you know what I mean? So I definitely can, like, agree to that, even from a consumer perspective, that I relate more to things that I can see the everyday person, like, doing or whatever. And I just know that, I can see it works on you. It'll probably work on me too.
And also, one thing about TikTok that I love, I might not know the name of someone. Yeah. But I know their face. I know their face, and I know what they're saying is real, because there's this one babe, she's a Muslim,
Oh!
We know her. Do you know her name?
Yeah. No.
Best believe she comes up on my For You page and she's styling like modest. She'll get something that is not modest. She'll get like a boob. She'll get like a boob tip, but she'll make it.
I always said that, and I'm like, how are you gonna make this work?
Yes. The one where it was like, I think it was like silver diamantes, and it was just like, it was like fishnet, and she was just like, I'm gonna make this modest. I'm like. In my head, I was like, in your wildest dreams. But she did. Literally.
Sometimes it's hit and miss. Sometimes it's hit and miss. But I just love the fact that it's just real. Like, literally, she's
huge now with TikTok.
Yeah, because she even did a collab with Simply B.
Yeah, and also I think that she just got I don't know. I think I saw her on Instagram celebrating an award or something. I don't know. But
so it's just being personable. Yeah, like she literally looks like one of us. Like she could be here.
She's a teacher.
Yeah.
She's a teacher.
Yeah, she's a teacher.
She's a teacher.
She's a substitute teacher.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you guys remember the time when I was saying, oh, I was watching this girl on TikTok and she had like gone on maternity leave and she was just like, she was meant to be going back to the school the next day. Was I not talking to you guys about this? She was meant to be going back to work like the next week, and then she had pregnancy test, but she had one left, and she was like, I don't want to throw it, let me just use it and then I'll throw it, kind of thing. I don't want to just dash it because it's actually not been used. So she was like, I'll just pee on the stick and then dash it. And she was pregnant, and she was like, and she was going into the school even the next day or the next week to tell them, like, to talk about her start date. And she was like, they were like, oh yeah, you know, had a good maternity leave, and then she was like, I'm pregnant again. And they were like, right.
Exactly. She was only there for a month, you think you said, something like that.
Yeah, that was her.
Yeah.
It was her, wow.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's
TikTok has been definitely very influential.
And you can tell because most of our topics have been from TikTok.
From things that we've seen.
Exactly. Like the way, like, I don't know if you've seen the TikToks of people using TikTok lingo.
Oh yeah, like in conversations, like even frames of conversation.
Oh, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, and like
it's a chicken sandwich.
Custom living is a crisis.
There'll be like, there's like a challenge, like, oh, if you know you're on TikTok, you know, something like that, like something like that, and it's like, why do I know every single reference?
No, I need to be off this app.
Literally,
a chicken salad. 84th Deli.
Another one, thank you.
Exactly.
But yeah,
it's so powerful.
I don't know how we got here, but
it fed into our song of the year.
Oh yeah, true.
But
yeah, those are our songs of the year. We'll link them in our stories, or well, we won't link them, but they'll be there, Sha. We'll add them to our Spotify playlist and our Apple Music playlist too, so you guys can check it out. Also,
and
let us know.
we should post our individual
wrap-ups.
On our page as well, just to see
what's going on.
We're very different with what we listen to.
100%. We'll definitely post that as well. So back to TikTok. I've even got two, but I'm just like, do we have enough time? Maybe I can run through them really, really quickly. But it's because you were saying something about how like you don't necessarily wait for something to come out on TikTok. Like you're not typically like waiting for something.
Okay,
But there was this one time I was waiting, boy. So there was this girl, right? She'd explain the story, but in real time. So it's kind of like, okay, how did the date go? Like, it was one of those things. Right?
Is it right, babe?
She's mixed race.
Oh, mixed race babe in America.
Yes, and she's got big hair. No,
she dates investment bankers.
Okay, no, it's not that one. But that girl sounds interesting. Anyway, no, this girl, right? She was just like, guys, I just came back from the salon, and she was like, typically when I go to get my hair done, like, I'm looking rough in it. And she was like, but this time I decided to like just like look a little bit more presentable. So she was just wearing like a crop top and like just like normal like low rise jeans, but like her body's banging, so she looked good. Anyway, she was getting her hair done, but then I think her parking was running out. So she left the salon with her hair half out, like she was doing a leave out, I think. So like her hair was just here, and then like she had the tracks or whatever. She was like, I'm just gonna quickly run and do my car, and then I'll come back. She did that. She came back, and there was a guy in the salon, and she was just like, who is that? Because he is looking mighty fine. So anyway, the man is talking to her hairdresser, and then obviously she has to like go there. She's like, oh, I'm just looking like a hot mess or whatever. But anyway, she sits in the chair, and then the guy's talking to her hairdresser, but keeps looking over to her, and like, you know when you lock eyes in the mirror. So it was like one of those where they keep like looking eyes in the mirror. So then anyway, he leaves now, and then she's like to her hairdresser, like, who is that? And then he was like, oh, he's a barber. He works in the next store. She was like, okay, cool. So when she finished doing her hair, she walked past and she saw him, and she was like, wait, hold on, no, life is too short. So she went back, and she went into the shop,
into the barber shop.
Yeah, she went into the barber shop, and they started talking, and then she was like, it got to a natural pause where he was like, she was like, oh, he should like ask for my number or whatever, and he didn't. And then I think she started to leave, then she turned around, she was like, you should put my number in your phone. So that's what happened. He did, and then I think that was the end of like the first TikTok. Then the next TikTok was like, okay guys, I've got a date with this guy now. Like we've been talking for ages and stuff, and like we've got a date, and I'm really looking forward to the date, blah blah blah. And so she was like,
I'm even smiling.
She was getting ready.
Like, I'm just so happy for this story.
Yeah, I'm such an idiot. She was like, we were talking for like a week or so, and I'm even going to LA tomorrow. I haven't packed up anything, but he's just asked me out on a date now, so I'm getting ready to go. I'm so excited, blah 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 blah. And then obviously everyone's so gassed for her, and they're like, oh my gosh, we need a part 3. She comes back now, the part 3. Me too, I'm one of the people that wait for the part 3.
Yeah.
She comes back now with the part 3. She was like, sorry guys, I've taken so long. I had to take 2 days to just like process my emotions. I said, hey! Processing emotions? She was like, I was so confused because she was like, so basically he picked me up and like, even though we had just met like a week before, she was like, it just felt so natural to the point where like, even as I walked to the car, bearing in mind it's like the first time I'm ever really going out with this person, he like leaned in to kiss me and she was like, and I would have kissed him as well, but like I just thought like, let's take time. But she was just like, that felt natural. Like she didn't feel like that was weird or anything. She was just like, I literally be inside. I was so happy listening to this. So then she got into the car, they drove to the date, they were like singing, holding hands, all that kind of stuff to get to the date now. And like they're sitting opposite each other because it's like a dinner date. And then she was like, after a while, I think it was like after the first course, she was like, come and sit next to me. So then he sat next to her and they're like holding hands like the whole time, like having their dinner or whatever. The waitress is even like, oh, like, I'm gonna throw in some free food for y'all because y'all are so cute, blah, 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 and, like, I think he must have been like, oh, yeah, this is our first date. And she was like, the waitress was like, no way. Like, I would have thought that you guys were, like, in a long-term relationship. Like, you guys are so cute. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they, like, had all the same interests. Like, he was like, I'm gonna drop you at the airport tomorrow. I'm gonna pick you up when you come back. Like, she was just so gassed. It was, like, going perfectly. So, anyway... they finished the day.
I'm so scared. I'm so scared.
They finished the day and like they drive to her house and she's like, I don't want to go inside. And he's like, neither do I. I don't want you to go either. So then they just start driving around. I think it was wherever she's from. I can't remember. Start driving around and stuff and they go to loads of different places in that city and like he takes her to somewhere and she takes him to somewhere like monumental, blah, 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 etc. She missed her flight, because she literally was with this guy the whole night. So anyway, she was just like, it's fine, like I'll sort out my flight another time or like I'll get the next flight or sort it out, whatever. So anyway, eventually now, he drops her home and then she's about to get out the car or something. And she's like, oh wait, I forgot to ask you, do you have any kids? And he's like, yeah, I have a daughter. And she said at that moment, she just broke down because that's her non-negotiable. That's her non-negotiable. She cannot date somebody with a child.
I was just waiting. I was just waiting for the catch. Just waiting. Woo! I was just waiting for the catch.
Oh my gosh. And she was just like, that's her non-negotiable. She cannot date people with children and that's the end of it. What? Are you telling me the truth, Funke? I was like, what?
Crazy.
Are you sure you won't change your non?
What were the comments saying?
So people were just kind of saying like, are you sure? Like, why can't you date someone? Blah, blah, blah. So she had a part 4. And she was basically saying in this part 4, and it makes sense. And actually, I've actually linked it in the topics because it was one that we were going to discuss, but we're discussing it now anyway.
Yeah.
She was basically saying like, when somebody has a child, you automatically become a second priority.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. Yeah. But she was like, she doesn't want to sign herself up to a life where she will always be second to a life that you've already had in terms of like, you already have a child with somebody else. Like that woman is forever going to be in your life. If I'm like, oh, I want to get up now and move to London, like, you can't necessarily do that with me because you have a child. So all of my decisions are now based on the fact that you have a child and a life with that child and wherever they decide to be, because ultimately most children live with the mum and stuff like that. So she was just like, that's another thing. I think, what else did she say? She was making some other points and I was like, to be honest, if that's your non-negotiable, it kind of just does, it does make sense. And she was also kind of like, you know, what if I don't agree with how his baby mum mothers, like, I can't now have an opinion on that, but what if I don't want my children to hang around with that child because of the way that child mothers her child and like the attitude that that child has? And she was like, it's really complicated and it's just like, it's just not a stress that I really want to put on myself. Like, and I actually commend her.
I rate her for it because
I would have been like, the flag is red, but I don't mind waving it. I don't mind waving it.
I can dye it.
I don't mind it. I can dye it.
Literally, I think, like you said, it's actually very commendable for you to stick to your non-negotiable, because as much as we all talk about like the non-negotiables and stuff, like
you be negotiating those non-negotiables.
You be on that. You be negotiating.
You be the judge and the jury.
Literally, you be putting everything
the prosecutor
down.
and the defendant.
No,
like...
literally, you will put all the cards down. You will remix as much as you can to try to make something work. And the fact that she was so quick, like as in like it's quite real time. Like, it's not like she's taken like so long. She's like she knew in that moment it was like a no. So I actually 100% rate her for it. It is obviously like wow, like come on, dog. You know, no, come on, dog. Just for us like who are watching and listening, but. I hear it, man. There's some things where you just know, like you've gone through things or you've seen people go through things that you just like, just don't want to put yourself in a situation. And I hear it. You're free. Like at the end of the day, it's not like she's tied to this guy. Like they've had a great connection, but she's not tied to him. Yeah. So she absolutely, you know,
yeah. And just like watching like a few of her other TikToks, I can tell that this is somebody that like actually does travel a lot, and like the way she was making it sounded as if like travel is a part of her life and where she wants to like experience living in different places. And it's just kind of like huge. You can't uproot your child, and like you need to also be a father to that child too. So it's like that is gonna be your priority, but then that is now as a consequence impacting the way I see myself living my life. And it's a sacrifice that she's not willing to make.
And it's even like double, like it's like regardless of which way you take it, like even if he could uproot, it would be a bit like you don't really want to. You're meant to be a father. So either way, it doesn't really work out. That is crazy though. Damn.
Yeah. It was one of those times where I was waiting for
you know when you go back and refresh their page, like
hey, she's back again.
Literally. Oh,
I commend her though, because the fact that she said that she broke down just shows you like how like in the moment she was.
And they were both saying like we've never felt this. Obviously like emotions are always in the hat, like that. If it's new,
and we know that guys can talk.
Trust. But like she was like, I've actually never had this sort of connection before. I've never felt this way. And he was like, like the same and stuff like that. So like it sounded like they were both really in it, and like I ain't missing a flight for anybody. No way. And she was happily just rolling around the city. But yeah.
Damn. Would you date guys? Would you date a guy with a child?
It's not my preference.
It's not your preference. Is it a non-negotiable?
Is it a non-negotiable? Would you?
I don't actually know the answer to that question.
Do you think it's important to have a list of non-negotiables?
Yes. Otherwise, you can just be swayed by anything.
So, do you have a list of non-negotiables?
Yes.
Okay.
But not
do you
a list.
Do you think it's thorough enough?
No, I haven't sat down and said these are my list. But I know like there's certain things that I can't.
Absolutely. Okay. Cool. What about you?
What?
Do you have a list of non-negotiables?
Yeah, in terms of the whole child thing, I can date someone that has a child. Yeah. But I cannot date someone that has children with multiple people.
Yeah. I didn't think that was a contender.
But like, no, what I'm saying is like, I don't mind you having children with someone that you've...
Children or a child?
It depends. No. It depends because, okay, let's say...
So what age are we talking about? Now?
Yeah, now.
Yeah, now. Because if I was to date someone who was, let's say... 30, and they were married when they were 25, they've had 2 children with their ex-wife. Yeah. I feel like...
So could you date someone that's divorced?
Yeah, I think I could. I think it depends on where I am in my life. No, I couldn't date someone that has been divorced. No.
Okay. Now
if I was 35.
Yeah, you might.
Yeah, if it was. Because you're later in, you're much
Why
later
do we
in
feel
life.
like, okay, I know it's true, but like I feel like we're always like, oh yeah, when we're older because our options are limited.
It's not about options are limited. It's the fact that you're later.
You're more
life has actually lived their lives.
Yeah, no, you have more opportunity to get into situations that might not have worked out in the end. Like, as in, like, it's like, for example, you're comparing somebody who has not finished uni, so it's in uni, compared to like after uni. Like, you know that there's a whole point in your life where you can basically experience certain things post uni. So like, even though, let's say for example, like, I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but it's like you have there's more opportunity and more years.
That's
where
what I'm
those
saying.
sort of
like,
situations
you
do
understand
happen.
that those people have lived their lives
It's not.
That's what I'm saying. Time has passed. In that time, they're at an age where
because if I was 40 years old and not married,
I would understand.
I would. No, it's not. I'm understanding. I would be more open. To people that are my age who have been in a relationship, who have been in a marriage before. If I'm 40 looking for someone that has never been married, never had any children, my friend, let me go and sit down, because the person I'm looking for is Jesus, because that ain't happening.
No, but even if it's not, for me anyway, it's not a case of me, for me, because that is slightly coming from like an option perspective, but I think for me it's more, I'm more understanding of it.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's
not, you guys expect it almost.
No, but it's not an expectation, but I'm not going to be shocked if I'm the age of 40, I'm still single, I'm looking for a man, or I'm waiting to get a man, and the man is 45 and he's telling me that, he's been married before, or he has X amount of kids. I'm not gonna be like, how is that possible? How has that happened? I'm like, nigga, you're 45. How is that not? Do you know what? Even me a bit of a bit like, what's been going on?
What have you been doing?
Also, do you know what? It's also a case of like, I find comfort in knowing that something is like past, like as in like it's actually like past stuff. It's not, we're not at the age where it's like, okay, how can I explain it? Like when you're 30 something, you can understand someone having kids where, and maybe this is I'm thinking about certain situations though, but the kids are from something that happened maybe like 5 years ago. Whereas I would still feel uncomfortable if he was 32 and he had kids a year ago or like 2 years ago, which is why I'm like, it's more understandable, because the longer you, like you said about, experience and stuff, but it's also the detachment that you might, or the time period away from your previous situation, gives me more comfort. But like I can't lie to you, if I was 40 and I met someone that was 40 that had just been divorced 2 years ago, or like even a year ago, and he has kids, I'm gonna still be a bit mainly because you're gonna exactly, rather than it being a case of someone who's 40, whereas the person that he had children with was like when he was like 28, 29, and then they had this and it fell out, and then now he's living by himself. So that's the thing for me.
Could you date someone right now
that has kids? I could date someone who has kids, and I always talk about it because I know people myself who have had kids, and for some reason it's not worse, and I literally like would always want them to find somebody. And I know I know that you shouldn't base your thing based on someone else, but because I can understand that, I don't think that person's any less desirable. I don't know how to explain it.
I don't think people who are saying they couldn't date somebody who has kids are thinking that they're not desirable, or it makes them undesirable because they have kids. I think it's more time people are thinking about the impact it has on them.
100%.
And that's what they're thinking, like, do I have the capacity right now to as like, obviously you're not going to be, if you're dating, you're not going to be expected to step into that role of a stepmom. But if that's someone that you're dating seriously and you want to have a future with, that is eventually going to be your role. And then having to like manage the dynamic of like, you and your partner having kids, and like what that would mean for the relationship, and how you would address the relationship with the baby mum and stuff like that.
I think for me, like, I definitely can. At this age, I 100% can. But again, it's just like the context of, like I said, for me, the comfort comes from when did that situation happen?
Fair enough.
I think that would be it. So I would. And then
do you have a list of non-negotiables?
I don't think I have core, like there's core stuff, like for example, like we spoke about last time in terms of ages ago, in terms of like faith and all this sort of thing. Like there's some core things that I just know. Once I hear nope, it's a no. But then there are some things where it's like I know that ideally, like for example, the kids one. Ideally, the best situation for me would be like I would want my first child to be there first. But I definitely don't think that I will live a less satisfied married life or family life if I found someone that did have a kid, like, because I know I have the ability to make that work. Do you know what I mean? Like that's just it for me. Like you said, you think about it from your own perspective. Does it bring you? Because I know some people, they just know that it's going to be in the back of their minds constantly, like, oh, like, how do I manage this relationship? How do I do this? How do I do that? Like, I'm not really good I'm not good dealing with confrontations. I don't really want to deal with another third party coming in. But for me, like, dealing with confrontation, dealing with multiple people coming up from me from different angles, that's my bag. So I don't, it's no, but that's, I'm very, very, I'm comfortable with that. That doesn't scare me. That doesn't, and I don't think it would, I don't think it will take away real value from my future life, you know? Yeah. Can I ask another non-negotiable? Could you guys, what was I going to say? Oh, this is a very, very sensitive, maybe trigger. I'm going to put a trigger warning. Maybe might not be able to make it. But let's say, for example, we've said, I think we've openly all said that eventually in our future we would want to have kids. If you find out before that the person that you're with cannot have kids, is that non-negotiable?
No, not for me.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Okay, whoever you're with
cannot have kids biologically because they have something. Yeah. Something. Would that be a non-negotiable for you? That's a hard.
That's not a non-negotiable for me.
Exactly. It's not non-negotiable for me either.
That's a hard pill to swallow.
It's a very hard pill to swallow.
I don't know whether it's a non-negotiable, but damn,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. But I think another reason why I'm just like
wait. Just let me hold you. When you say that they can't have kids, so they already know that they can't.
They already know beforehand that they told you
before you've like.
Let's say that I don't know how, but let's just. In fact,
when would you bring that up?
Let me not say that they know before they've met you. As in, like, they might not know. So, like,
that's what I'm saying.
Already developed. Let's say you develop feelings.
Yeah.
Right, and they're like. You know how in a relationship, whatever, something happens and you find out that all this while you're not able to. Is that a non-negotiable in terms of you hear that and you're out? No matter how deep you've got.
I don't think I'll be out. I think I will be...
On your way.
I'll be... No. I won't be... No. I won't be out, but I think I'll just be like damn, like that's always been like... a want of mine to be with someone and have biological kids. Yeah. But it's funny because I had like this church like thing last week and they were talking about like egg freezing and things like that. We had a doctor come on and she was like, yeah, you can have biological kids, but what was she saying? She was basically saying like the way that like people get that use other people's eggs when they can use other people's sperm to carry a child. So basically, just because it might not be biologically his. Yeah. If it's being carried in me and then we're together, is it not? Yeah. His child. Do you get what I mean? So
that's obviously that's what we're saying. Is that are you okay with that?
I think I'll be. I think I would be okay with that.
Yeah. At first I'll be counter. Would that be your counter? So like
your next option.
Yeah. If he's like.
Oh yeah, that has.
Be like, I would want the baby to have my genes.
What my? Yeah. Oh yeah, has to have my. Sorry.
No. That's what I'm saying. So would you rather just basically? I think what you're trying to say is like, what options would you use? Would you adopt, or would you rather your egg and someone else's sperm?
My first thing wouldn't be adopting. It would definitely be
your egg,
someone else's sperm. Yeah, because at least like if that's still, I feel like not that it's a better option. No, yeah. But I'm just saying, I feel like in my situation, I would prefer to have, if I can carry a child and it can be mine, I can use my own eggs. Yeah. Why wouldn't I? Yeah. They'll give it to me. Yeah. But
they'll give it to me.
So, but yeah, that's the
yeah. It's a very
tongue twister.
It is. Yeah, I don't know. I just hear everyone always say like on all these social media platforms like non-negotiable this, non-negotiable that. Like what's this, what's that? Like what are you gonna say yes to? What are you gonna say no to? And I just think that like I get it. And obviously everyone says like, oh yeah, but it depends on the context, depends on this.
But ask these people, okay, people have non-negotiables, which is fine, but ask these people the same if they have the same non-negotiables in 10 years' time where they have no boo, no bae, no crush, no nothing. Literally. If you know, you know. You know. Like, ask them in 10 years' time because I feel like time... has a big impact on people's non-negotiables. Yeah. The people that we think, my non-negotiable, are people rolling in church at 40 years old, no boo, no bae, no crush, no chat, no nothing. Ask again if they still have the non-negotiable. Of course, but the thing it's easier said than done. Like, of course you're gonna have your non-negotiable. You're gonna be like, no, I cannot deal with that. Like I just physically, I just can't deal with that. But at the same time, I'm just like, are they really non-negotiables, or you can't handle that right now?
Okay. This is what I was gonna say. Your non-negotiables can change. That's fine, because it could be that in this stage of my life right now, I haven't experienced enough life to now tie myself down to this particular state that I don't even like that much because you have a child. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But you might then go on and explore and experience life and be like, I'm now content knowing that I've done this, done that, I'm happy to now date somebody with a child, because my limiting factor before was that I wasn't able to experience the things that I wanted to experience, because I didn't want you to have to pick between me and your kid. So that's fine. Like, it can be a non-negotiable for now, but it could change.
No, I think it ties nicely to what we were obviously planning to discuss in terms of just like opinions and stuff, because I do feel that, like Tammy said, people's non-negotiables can change, right? And I think sometimes you were saying that, but it's actually, sometimes you might look at someone a little bit sideways, because that's what does tend to happen in reality, is that it's like when you state an opinion, or when you state this is what I want, it's like when you go against it, people kind of like, not shame you, but they're like, hold on, honey, you didn't say that. Or like they pull you up on it. And I feel like that for me is something that was one of my lessons I've learned about just opinions and people stating stuff, right? And it's something that I know going forward, I'm definitely like, especially as we say, going into the new year, but like understanding that it's okay for like your opinions on situations to change and not to call. And if someone has said something to you before, and it's funny, I was listening to the HC podcast literally like maybe yesterday, and they were basically talking about like when artists or when anyone's like stating something or their opinion or something. I think they're talking about the whole Cristiano Ronaldo and his interview and stuff, or like he might say stuff now that actually like he might later on be like, I didn't really my mind. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like we can't blame, like we can't now say, oh, because you said it, that's the locked in version of you, boom. It doesn't mean that what he's saying is even false. What it just means is in that moment, that's is actually my thought. And it's actually okay for somebody to now experience something that makes them look back on what they thought and change their mind, even if they've said it openly.
I feel like this is also why I feel like we should always apply grace in every situation. Because some people will be like, could never be me, could never do that, that's not my values, I don't agree with that, blah, blah, blah.
And then something
happens and they're forced to make those same decisions, but they've been shaming other people for having that opinion. That's what I'm like, apply grace, like even if you don't agree with someone, you can just be like, oh, okay, like back to what we were saying a couple of weeks ago, I can't imagine myself like doing that, but you just never know, like honestly.
And I can't, like, I definitely think that when I was younger, whether that be a year or doesn't matter, I'm not telling the year, but I do think that back in the day I definitely found myself very quick to like say that could never be me, or like I would never find myself in a situation like this, or I would never do this or never do that.
I've actually stopped, like,
but now I realize in this life,
stop saying that can't be me, never me.
Honestly, it absolutely
it has been.
I was gonna say it might be, but
it has.
No, but honestly,
no, it's true though.
No, but it actually has, and I just think that, you know, when you think about the whole opinions and things like that, it's just, I think it's also important for you to understand that when you're deciding about what you want to do for yourself as well, this is why you can't rely on other people's opinions to fill your own, because the people's opinions that you're using to fill your own opinion will change. Then what are you going to do? Who are you going to be clinging on to?
This is literally a conversation I was having yesterday, and I was like, I feel like the danger with social media is that a lot of people don't know what their own opinions actually are. Like, they're actually just like,
they've been pushed and swayed and
do you know what I mean? Everyone is saying that this person is this, like, or like, it seems like everyone's coming for this particular person, so you feel like I must be standing on the right side if I'm with all these people. And it's like, okay, but then when somebody's like, oh, but why do you think that? And you're like, okay, but did you have this context? Did you have that context? All of a sudden now your opinion, you're not sure. Your opinions are changing. And I feel like that is something that is dangerous. Like, obviously for us, not necessarily growing up with social media, I guess, in the way that like it is now. Like, I feel like maybe we're better trained to, like, you know, notice those sort of things. But I do think like the younger generation, not trying to sound like one of those aunties, but like it is difficult because I feel like some people's opinions are just coming from the mass majority.
But you can't blame it because our opinions are fully based on our environment. But I think what you need to understand is, like we just said, is that it's possible for that to change. Don't take that as the fixed Bible, like basically as your Bible, is like, this is facts because it's come from X. Like, you cannot do that. You have to, when you see stuff, you absorb it. That's how we find out information. Like, we get information from literally the environment that we're in, media, everything like that. That's the only way you process stuff. But it's like, when you process something, like, take it with the understanding that this is an opinion, not a fact. And like, when I'm thinking about this, okay, I actually kind of agree with what they're saying, so cool, I'm with it. But actually, I'm open to the idea that I could be wrong and my opinion can change with more information, rather than just being so rigid and being like, because everyone says it is, and I'm not even going to question it. Do you know what I mean? Like, be open to, like, question, challenge, and receive that as well when people are, you know, challenging you on the way that you think.
Yeah.
But I think, that's one thing for me that, like, definitely, like, I'm starting to do that now, but going forward, like, boy, when it comes to people's opinions, just being understand to manage that better. I think it's so imperative to just literally having, like, just having a sound mind, really, because you will go insane by when you start to realise, actually, all the things that I'm saying, actually, in the reality of it, I don't actually want to do that. Yeah. Or actually, I don't.
That's why I feel like with non-negotiables, like back to what we were saying earlier, like, you can't really have a long list. In my opinion,
it has to be
like, that list has to be like 3 things. I think, like, max. Even, which is why I'm like, I don't really feel like I have that many. Like, my one non-negotiable is that I must marry a Christian. Like, somebody that fears God. That's it. Period. I can't really think of others necessarily, because the other ones, I'm just like, but in a situation where I'm like, he ticks every other box, or like, he's like, you know, like, I feel like in every other aspect, he's exactly, or even more than I expected. I might be like, I don't mind that he has a child. In fact, I actually love the relationship he has with the child. I would love to be a part of it. Do you know what I mean? Or like, maybe the mother's not around, or like, she's passed away, and like, how can I now be like, oh, because he has a child? Do you get what I'm saying? But if you ask me now, I'm like, I'm not really.
But that's fine, Like I said, it's just the way you talk, so you understand that when you're saying something, you're not saying it to, like you said, condemn other people who might be accepting of that situation. But also understand that you yourself, just because you're thinking that now, doesn't mean that in the next 5 years, or even tomorrow something might happen that might change you. Change your mind. But I think that's basically what I wanted to round up with, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's the last one of the year, as always, so make sure you guys subscribe, like, share, all that jazz, and obviously we'll be back in the new year. We hope you guys enjoyed this year's podcast and stuff. We'll be on our socials so you can still interact with us. But we hope you guys have an amazing Christmas, an amazing New Year, and we'll see you guys in 2023.
Bye!
Happy holidays!